Guys, welcome to my video. Haven't put up a video on my channel for a while, but today's video what I'm pretty much doing is transferring the CVT fluid from my 2008 Altima and putting in new fluids. So I went online. This is a 2008 Altima. I have about 250,000 miles on this car, and it was driving pretty good. I actually had the transmission swapped out previously. This car was driving pretty decent up until about a couple of months ago, where the transmission fluid kind of changed from a reddish color to a brownish kind of color. I had to do some research online just to see what the issue was, and apparently, if you guys have read up on the CVT transmissions, it goes into limp mode if the transmission oil gets a little bit too hot, and that's one of the issues that I have this car, apparently, because there's a whirling sound that starts up if I drive it for like maybe 30 minutes or an hour in warm weather, like 90 degrees weather, 25-degree weather. If I'm driving around and it starts revving up like a whirling sound, and it kind of bothered me, it kind of worried me. I was on the highways and drove the car maybe for like 30-40 minutes, and that whirling sound came on, and I drove this car a little bit more, and it went into limp mode on me. Transmission was kind of crap. It kind of felt like it was crapping out on me. It was slipping or whatever. Came on to the ramp to a stoplight, and it just felt like the transmission was slipping. If you guys read up on this, you guys kind of know that's a kind of a scary experience, because it just feels like your transmission is dying out on you, especially when you're on a freeway. So I read up on this, and a couple things I took from it as far as what I read up on YouTube. Apparently, if you don't put the right amount of antifreeze, and I think the antifreeze actually cools the transmission oil. Surprisingly, I think it does cool the transmission oil, and there is an oil cooler at the bottom of this engine, and I know that for a fact because it was leaking, and they changed up the O-ring. Well, O-ring, it's a really curved ring on this model anyway, inside the transmission, inside that cooler. So they swapped that out, and I believe that the antifreeze actually cools that. I don't know why, but the antifreeze on my car was very watery, and I've actually never changed the changed the antifreeze on this car since I bought it, and I bought this used with 60,000 miles on it. So I had to change up the transmission fluid, let that drain, and put in 50-50 transmission. The antifreeze. Drain the antifreeze, put in 50-50 antifreeze. And I had hoped that had changed the issue with the whirling noise, but it didn't. So, what I'm going to do is what I did already. I'm recording this after I did it, but I had to drain out the transmission fluid, and there's two ways you could do it. On this model, there is not a drainage plug. It's a pan. You'd have to remove the pan and then let the transmission fluid drain. I went to the mechanic and told them about the situation, and they told me that it would cost about $100, and I didn't want to do that. So there's a second way around that, is to pump it out from the dipstick entry, and went online, read a lot of stuff about it, and I bought one of these pumps from Walmart, and this is the second time I've actually bought one of these pumps to use, and it did nothing. I kept on pumping. Apparently you're supposed to block this part and then have the other part in the whatever you're trying to pump out, and then pump it a couple of times so that the water, so that the vacuum is created. I did that a couple of times, nothing worked. So this is absolute garbage, and it's absolute junk. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna return it. So that didn't work. So what I did was, I have this little setup right here. This is like a $3 motor I bought from eBay. It's a pump, a little pump that I bought from eBay. It's a water pump. I bought it from eBay. Hooked it up, and these tubes I bought from the Home Depot. This is the out. This is in. So the in goes into the dipstick compartment, and the out goes into this bucket. And I took positive to positive, negative to negative, and it pumped everything out, as you can see. Well, yeah, so it pumped pretty much everything out, and at this point, this is how much transmission fluid it was inside the transmission. So that's all pretty much pumped out, and I'm now just gonna put in the transmission fluid, the new transmission fluid, and oh crap! Wow. All right, glad that didn't spill. I'm gonna be using CVT, Valvoline CVT transmission fluid, and this is NS2. Apparently, it's good for NS2. I was told that the Nissan transmission fluid would be better for the transmission of this car, since it's a Nissan car. But I read online. I went to Amazon. I went to Walmart. I read online, and apparently, this had really a lot of great reviews on it. Wasn't a negative review online. So I'm gonna use this, and I think it'll work. I don't think I'm gonna have to spend like. Let me see. I don't think I'm gonna have to go on eBay and buy 6 quarts for like $80 or whatever, and then tag on shipping is like $90. Best case scenario is for me to use the Nissan oil, but hey, you can get this at AutoZone or Pep Boys. I got this at Pep Boys. AutoZone has the casual version of it. Got this at Pep Boys, and I'm just gonna use a funnel and just drop it in. I don't quite know like how many quarts this is, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put one bottle in, and I'm gonna use these bottles as empty containers for the old oil, and and that's gonna help me measure out how many quarts I'm gonna put in, because I don't want to overfill it, and I just want to get the right measurements correctly. If you guys are having that whirling sound, as a lot of people have experience with CVT transmissions, particularly with the Nissan Altimas. Apparently, I've heard that if you change the oil, that whirling sound goes away. And the reason why the whirling sound exists is because the transmission oil has thinned out, and it's just aerated. That's the word I keep on hearing. That's the aerating of the transmission fluid. That there's air. I guess I don't quite know what that means, but I think it's just that the transmission fluid needs to be changed. So hopefully the change in the transmission fluid works out for me, because I did get like I think I said that this transmission was changed. I did get a new transmission on this car, and it worked. It works pretty good, except the only issue that I've been having is if I go like 80 miles per hour on a highway for like 30 minutes at a time, it goes into limp mode after that, and then I gotta park it. Well, yeah, it drives like crap. It drives like crap afterwards. you know, if I keep on driving, it'll drive like crap. Transmission will feel like it's slipping, and if I come to a stop, it won't engage in gear. If I press accelerator, it won't engage in gear for like a couple seconds, and then it engages in gear. But then I'd have to park it for like 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, it drives just fine afterwards, and that's happened to me a couple of times. And the worry I had was that it was a slippage in the transmission, in transmission. But apparently, it's not. It's not the transmission slipping, or not the conventional sense of the transmission slipping. So, you know, that's. I don't know whether it's computer that's causing that to happen, but you know, hopefully this changes this up. First step with this was I changed up the antifreeze, and apparently Nissan suggests that if you're having issues with the transmission being in limp mode, change up the antifreeze. It has to be 50/50 antifreeze. You can't have like watery antifreeze in the in the coolant. So I changed that up, and it really didn't help much. So I'm gonna change this up, and hopefully that works out. All right. If you guys want to see how this works, pretty much what I did was, pretty much what I did was, I don't know if I could do it with this camera like this, but negative, positive, and you can see, you know, let me see. Yeah, negative, positive. So there it is. It's I'm pretty sure it's filling. It's finished draining it, because this bubble was coming out of it. It's finished draining. So all right. So yeah, I just want to tell you guys, this is an awesome setup. I mean, this is like the easiest thing ever, and anybody could do it. Just buy this motor from eBay. It's like $3. These lines probably cost like, I don't know, $10 in total. And this is the easiest setup. I mean, I might be able to change my motor oil doing this, which is amazing. I've actually never thought about this, but I went online, I researched it. You can pump it out, and I did pump it out. So this is an awesome thing. All right, guys. So that's all done. I bought this funnel from the dollar store. Buy you get like 3 of these at the dollar store. I'm gonna put that there. And now I'm just going to refill the transmission, and you know, that should do it. Hopefully that resolves the problem with the whirling issue. Went online, and apparently a lot of people have said that the issue went away when after they did the change, the transmission oil change. All right, guys. So that's all done. I took out a little less than 4 gallons, like 3.5 or something like that. But I put 4 gallons in. So, and I'm all finished with that. I took the old transmission oil and put it in the empty bottles, and that's all I took, guys. So if you guys want to know how to do it, you know, pretty much it.